All right, so I'm making this video because I feel like we didn't have a lot of time to discuss 39B, which is your homework for the weekend, before we left class because we were a little rushed. So I wanted to just make sure you understood what you had to do. For 39B, it tells you use each place name listed below to replace the italicized words in the following sentences. Use the prepositions ob, in, or odd only when necessary. So here, for each one, they've given you kind of three sentences that are exemplary of what they want you to put the word into. So the first one says "Malk soon," right? Ad urbem veniam. I will come to the city. So what they want you to do is to take this place name, and for the first part of the question, take the place name and put it into that sentence. Replace ad urbem with it. So if I want to, instead of saying "soon I will come to the city," I want to say "soon I will come to Africa." So here, okay. What they're asking you to do is think about, well, I'm going to Africa, and they're essentially asking you, testing you on, can you use these place constructions that we've been studying? Accused of a place to which, ablative of a place from which, and locative. And so for the first one here, if I'm going to the city, I'd want to use accused of a place to which. However, remember, those are only used for cities, towns, and small islands. Meaning that if I'm talking about Africa, which is a continent, here I'm actually going to want my odd. So they're kind of testing you on that. So here I would say odd Afrikam. And I'm not going to require you to write out the entire sentence for everyone. So when you're writing this in your paper, just do number one, odd Afrikam. And then your number two answer would be what you would replace for this. So the second one, Yam aber discuss now he left from the city. So I want to say from Africa. So I would say ab, right? I'm not going to use the ablative of a place from which, in which case I could leave out the ab here because it's a continent. And number three says, for a long time he is it Morabat? I think so, Monebat, or something like that. He delayed in the city. So here, I want to say in the city. Well, again, I can't use the locative because I don't have a city, town, or small island. This would be your answer to number one, which essentially is Africa. Number two would be Athenai. Number three would be Baiai. So here, you're supposed to do three for each one. Okay, let's look at the second one, Athenai, Athenarum, just for kicks. Okay, so for number two, for Athenai, Athenarum, all right, this one is a city, so I can use all of my place constructions here. So number one, I also want to, and I want to keep this sort of order every time. So first, I want to go to Athens. Well, it's a city, so I can use accused of a place to which means that I do not need, because I'm going to it, I can just use the accusative case. I don't need it, the odd. So I just say I arum is as, right? Athenas. Number two would be for now he left from the city. So now I want to go from Athens. Well, ablative of a place from which. I arum is as Athenis. This is one of those plural place names, right? Where it only exists in the plural. I can see that from the I arum. Okay. And then lastly, for number three, now he delayed in the city. Well, this is the tough part because it's locative. So I have to think, well, is it a first or second conjugation, in which case it would be genitive, my genitive ending, right? Is it a third, first or second declension, in which case it would be genitive. If it's third declension, well, it's ablative ending. If it's a plural place name, it's an ablative ending. Here we just talked about it, it's a plural place name. So I want the ablative ending for the locative as well. That's going to end up being Athenis. And remember, we said that's okay. That we'll learn from the verb in our sentence how these will be used. That's what you're doing for each one of these place names. Essentially, you're giving it an order for how you go to the place, how you would go from the place, and how you would say you're staying in the place. Just so this is a little description of how you should do your homework. So please don't come to me and tell me, oh, I don't know how to do the homework, or I'm going to make you redo it. So glad you watched this. Hopefully it helped. And it can also be like a nice video to help you review when we get to a time for a test or a quiz on this. Thanks, guys. Glad you're listening. Hope you're having a great weekend and staying dry. Thanks. Bye.